Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, the Pink Aviatrix. Subscribe, like this video and share it if you love curry. On today's episode of the Pink Aviatrix Cooks, I am going to be showing you how I made my curry coconut basa fish fillet, and I served it over some fluffy basmati rice as well as with some wedges of cucumber. So the reason I'm making this video is because my dear friend is always asking me for this recipe. So girl, this is for you, curry coconut basa fillet. So I have my seasonings chopped up here and some ginger, turmeric, celery, garlic and potatoes, as well as scallions. And then I have a piece of a scotch bonnet pepper with onion, tomato and sweet pepper, and my dry seasoning mix, which you'll find all the ingredients to that in the description box, as well as, I don't know, the curry powder, little scotch bonnet pepper, on top of the actual pepper, as well as my coconut powder, which I'm gonna use to make the coconut sauce, a little salt, and coconut oil because we have that coconut flavor going all the way through. So whenever I'm cooking, I learned this from another Jamaican YouTuber. Her name is Debbie from Down a Yard or something like that. Always put some water to boil when you're starting to cook, especially if you're gonna need it. Because that way, when you're cooking and you add your hot water to what you have on the stove, it doesn't drop the temperature in your pot too much, so everything continues to cook evenly. So as my pot heats up, I'm adding a little bit of coconut oil, and making noise because you don't know, we love sing and cook. And the fire extinguisher is on standby just in case we got a little accident, but that ain't finna happen. So let's get this pot started. I think I added too much coconut oil, but hey, it's coconut, so it's good for you. And when I was in flight school, I would do quite a bit of cooking when I had time because you gotta eat if you gotta fly. So I would cook and ensure that I brought lunch, or I would cook when I came home from school, or my auntie would cook for me, or my sister or her auntie or her mommy would cook. And when you cook, you tend to end up eating healthier, so it's a good idea to cook and meal prep for flight school. So right now I'm adding some garlic to the curry powder and a little bit of seasonings because as we say in Jamaica, we burn the curry or start cooking the curry before we actually add the fish or anything else that we're gonna actually curry. And I like to add more than garlic to mine. I add a little bit of the ginger, a little bit of the turmeric, and also some pimento. And you just saute that over low heat for a little bit until the curry kind of darkens a bit, and then you can go ahead and add the rest of your ingredients. And all the measurements and everything that I used will be in the description box, so be sure to check the description box for those details. You have to take in the aroma because how else you're gonna know if it's ready. Meanwhile, I'm going to check for my little rice. And you just want to keep stirring so that nothing sticks to the bottom of the pot, and you also want to stop your garlic from burning because everybody know when garlic burn it bitter, and that not cute. We don't want no bitter curry. So I'm adding the potatoes next because they're harder to cook than the fish itself, so I want to add them and get them started cooking so that by the time I add the fish, everything can kind of cook at the same pace and be all ready at the same time. And I also add my carrots as well because carrots and the potatoes are a bit hardy and they take a while longer to cook. Comment down below if you multitask when you're cooking. Are you cooking your main dish while you're cooking your rice or your sides and your salads and all of that? Because I'm always doing more than one thing at once. Air traffic control. Blame air traffic control. After you've added the potatoes and the carrots and stir them around for a bit with the seasonings, go ahead and cover it and kind of let it steam fry for about 3 minutes before you continue the process. And I haven't added any water to this, but the vegetables themselves have moisture, so covering the pot will help them to steam and break down a little bit quicker. Next, I add in a bit of my dried blended seasoning, and the base of it is paprika, which is red, so I don't tend to put a lot of it in there since I don't want to change the color of my curry. But you can add a little bit because it has some other flavors or some other seasonings in there that I like. And now to work on the fish. So as you had seen previously in this video, the fish had been soaking in a mixture of salt water and lime juice. And you can use vinegar if you want to, but I tend to prefer a fresher taste to my fish. So I soak it in lime juice and salt and then rinse it off and then go ahead and season it. So I use a little bit of that same dry seasoning, and I'm trying to squeeze or knock the last bit of curry out of this curry bottle, as well as I add some of my chopped seasoning to the mixture. So that's ginger, turmeric, the rest of the celery and the garlic. And I actually grated the ginger and turmeric with a really fine grater, so I get all the flavor without like big pieces of ginger being in my food. Because don't you just hate when you find a piece of ginger and it's not like fish or whatever the food is, but it's ginger, and ginger looks like everything, so that's annoying. And of course, you know, you add your salt. And of course, you can go ahead and season your fish like overnight or even days before. But this fish really absorbs flavor well, so I literally did this right before I was about to cook it. And what I'm doing here, I'm adding a piece of fish to the pot and allowing it to come back up to temperature before I add another piece, because I don't want to drop the temperature of the pot too much so that everything cooks evenly. And yeah, to avoid contamination, you see me using the back of my hand to adjust the temperature on the stove. Just to ensure that it stays clean. So yeah, no dirty chef around here, no salmonella or anything else. Yeah, the Pink Aviatrix can cook and she cook clean. Right, so yeah, just stuff the fish them in the pot and yeah, allow it to come back up to temperature, and then we're gonna leave them on one side for a little bit and then flip them. And you don't know, we can't waste the juices and the seasoning, so just go ahead and pour that on top of the fish and allow it to steam fry. I think steam fry is a catchphrase of this video. Next, I'm going to add the balance of the chopped up seasoning, so that's some onion, garlic, sweet pepper, tomatoes, and just add them on top and let them cook a little bit. And then we're gonna flip the fish. And the next thing I add to the pot is some chopped up scotch bonnet pepper, as well as some of the seeds. Now I use a knife and fork to cut this up because I don't want to get this under my fingernails or anything like that, because yeah, that can be unsafe if your fingers go elsewhere, like in your eyes afterwards. So just get that into your pot and allow it all to cook together with the fish. And I also add in some dried thyme as well, sprigs of thyme. Alright, so just verifying that my rice is ready, steamed to perfection, fluffy enough, and yeah, that's it. Turn off the fire and put it one side. Now back to the fish. So after I have flipped the fish and allowed it to cook evenly on the other side, I'm gonna go ahead and make my coconut milk mixture, and I'll be using a packet of coconut milk in powder form, and I mix it with that water that I had boiled earlier, and I also add my chopped up seasonings to it, as well as my powdered seasoning mix, because you know when you're cooking you have to flavor every layer of your food, right? So I seasoned the curry when I was starting out, I seasoned the fish when I was starting out, and now I'm seasoning the coconut milk mixture, because yeah, that just helps all the flavors to be stronger and blend better together. And the fact that I'm using hot water not only ensures that the temperature in my pot stays right, but it also starts to let the seasonings release their flavors, you know, because it kind of steep them, so it's like a coconut milk seasoning tea for the fish, you know what I mean? That kind of vibe there. Alright, so after that is all combined, I go ahead and add it into the pot and let it simmer for a bit. And at this point the fish is basically done, so I'm just going in between this groove of the basa fillet and separating it with the spatula to kind of break up the fish a little bit, help it to cook faster, and you know, help it be the right size for serving. Sometimes when I cook basa, I actually break it up smaller to kind of like bits and pieces of fish, but I'm not doing that for this meal. So yeah, that's what I'm doing, and then I'm gonna cover it and allow it to simmer for a few more minutes before I turn it off. And right here I'm just checking to see the readiness of the potatoes. Remember, I added them first to ensure that they cook before the fish or cook in the same time as the fish. So yeah, it's basically ready, so I'm just gonna cover and allow the coconut milk and the rest of seasonings to cook for a little bit and then turn it off. Because, and how you know the fish is ready, it flakes easily. That's the way to tell if fish is ready. So yeah, and right now I'm just testing my sauce for flavoring, you know, seeing what else I need before I close the pot to simmer. If you have been enjoying my cooking videos so far, go ahead and comment hashtag the Pink Aviatrix Cooks in the comment section and try the recipe. And if you do, be sure to share it on Instagram and tag me at the Pink Aviatrix. As everybody knows, Caribbean people or Jamaican people, we don't cook with measurements. So as you can see here, I tasted it and realized I need a little more salt and a little bit more pepper. And yeah, that's how we do. And if you saw earlier, I didn't use a lot of salt because I believe it's always better to start with less and then you add more as you need it. And the pepper, I only had a really small amount of the scotch bonnet pepper, so that's why I had to top it up with the scotch bonnet pepper sauce. But let's get into this. Look at this. Look at this golden yellow mustardy curry. Beautiful color. Look at that. Now that's what I'm talking about. Yo. nice fluffy rice. Yep. Yes.